I had to switch it up on y'all, man, which is what today is about, man. But it is June 8th, 6 o'clock. Tapping in, homie, the weekly tap in. Good peoples. Let me go ahead and do my due diligence to myself. You guys feel that, right? Do due diligence to yourself, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and get my share on. We talking about flexibility today, homies. Yeah, that. Let's see. Go ahead, write a post. So I just tell people tap in. You liable to get something good. It's inevitable, man. Go ahead and put the city where you tapping in the comments, as always. And I'll tell you guys why we had to move it to Tuesdays. And this is just temporarily. This is just over the summer. So if Tuesday doesn't work for you, we'll be back on Mondays. But the reason being is because in addition to the podcast, and I am a teacher. I teach at a university. So this is another like inspirational point right here too. No matter what your background is, man, you can do whatever you put your mind to. This is something that I wanted to do a long time ago. When I first got into a university, I was inspired by professors and I wanted to become one. So I'm thinking like, I got to get all these degrees. And granted, you do got to get some degrees, but it's not impossible. And you too could be out there changing lives by teaching. So I'm just throwing that out there. It's a really fun position. You learn a lot. So they gave me a class on Monday nights at 6, from 6 to 10. What's going on, CJ? All right, homie. Tulsa in the house. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What's up, Tulsa? And I see y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. It was rough on that crypto for a minute, but if you stayed strong, you still should be good. So tap in with CJ. Y'all want more advice on that crypto, man. Learn about this stuff, man. Learn about cold storage, all this stuff. Because I learned. Like I didn't just say I was, into what I learned. And that's the key right there, man. We're talking about flexibility today. So if I would have got handed that assignment and I wasn't flexible, I would have probably been like, nah. You know what I'm saying? But this is a good opportunity for me to practice flexibility. And one of the things my son is doing, he's doing Kaji Kimbo, which is a form of karate that originated in Hawaii. And they're kicking, and my son kicks high. I'm like, man, I've been practicing a little kickboxing, and I'm trying to get my kicks up higher. And one of the things they ask is, are you flexible? And you're like, if you're not really flexible, it's pretty obvious, right? It hurts, and you can't kick that high, right? So I'm at that stage. I can probably go midsection, but I can't kick somebody because I'm 6'3", so it's hard for me to. I want to get really high to be able to kick, somebody higher. Anyways, I had to do flexibility exercises, and it hurts, and it stretches you, and it's not comfortable. It's not sexy. You know what I mean? It's low-key embarrassing that you can't stretch. You know what I'm saying? But it's inevitable. You have to do it. If you're not flexible and you don't stretch every day and try to push yourself beyond your limits, you're gonna break. You know what I'm saying? And that a lot of times what happens is if you don't, I pop my calf trying to sprint. And if anybody's ever had a calf tear or anything like that, you know what time it is with that. That shit hurts, right? So that taught me a lot about stretching before I get into anything. And I apply everything that I go to life. Because if you're not flexible in what you do in life, or not flexible in the sense of being okay with taking another path, you're going to break. And what I mean by break is that you're going to be at a point to where you're like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do shit else because I couldn't do this one thing. And that limits you. You know what I'm saying? God is not accidental. He's on purpose, and he's divine with his time. So when he gives you a detour, it's a reason why you're taking that detour. There's a reason why. You know what I mean? And if you don't understand it, a lot of times you don't get it until later. Like, why was I late? Why did the traffic, man, detours, homie. Why didn't I get into this school? Or why didn't I get into this? Detours, homie. And you probably wouldn't have met this person. You probably wouldn't have had your family. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, like, they got this movie called The Butterfly Effect. You guys ever check that shit out? It's crazy. with Ashton Kutcher. And for some reason, he can go back and change stuff. Like, you know, you go back and you can switch this thing or get with this girl, and all these other things are affected. It's like a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, same thing when God prevents us from doing something. You know what I mean? It's our inflexibility that makes it a hostile situation and makes it feel like God is punishing us. That's not the case. You know what I mean? He's asking for us to bend a little bit, to pivot. You know, the same thing applies to business. You heard that term in business, pivot, the pivot. And what companies win? The ones that pivot. It's the stiff ones. It's the ones who haven't stretched, the ones who aren't capable of stretching or bending, right? They break. Those are the ones who fall out of the game. It's important for us to be flexible, not only in life, physically as well. We got to stretch that ass. We got to stretch ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Yoga is a good thing because it works on breathing. You get your breathing techniques, and then you also are flexible in that sense. But you got to be flexible. Just think back in the day, like when a lot of the stuff that we thought we wanted, right? And we didn't get. You know, a lot of times we don't sit up there and count the blessings on the things that we didn't get. We're always like, damn, you didn't, you know what I mean? Think about the things that you didn't get that you were later glad you didn't, right? I remember one time me and my wife, we were looking at a house and we thought we was going to get it. We, broken hearted 2 or 3 times. But if we would have got either one of those blessings, the ones we thought we deserved, these was like repo houses, they was all, and there's no shot at that, we wouldn't have got into the thing that we're in today. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm cool with whatever God throws my way, man, that's okay. Is that what we're doing? I'm cool with that. Is that the lesson for today? Right? He don't throw the syllabus at us and say, here's how it's going to be. There's twists, turns, peaks, valleys, the whole 9 with this life game. And most of the time we ain't equipped for that, right? We ain't equipped for the peaks and valleys, man. We're going to all go through them. This is part of the process, right? Flexibility, learning flexibility, right? So that you can duck and dodge anything. Neo wasn't flexible. He would have got picked off, but that fool bent backwards and started dodging bullets and the whole 9, right? You feel that? And that made him, you know what I'm saying? That made him what he was, right? It's that flexibility. And that's what we have to work on. We have to be consistent with being okay with being inconsistent, right? They say the only thing that's consistent is inconsistency, right? There's going to be constant up and downs. Nothing's going to be the same. But you have to be cool enough, right? Cool head wise too, to be okay with these changes. Be okay with it being a little bit different. Be okay with it being a little bit off. Being okay with it not being exactly the way you want it. I look at my son sometimes, my youngest son, when he's playing with kids, he want to run the show. He wanted to set the rules. He want to do X, Y, Z. And when it's not going his way, he get mad. I'm like, because you got all these expectations of how it's going to be, and you didn't okay that with everybody else. You didn't okay that with everybody else that you playing with, that this is how it's going to be. And the same thing holds true in life. This is how it's going to be. This is what I want. This is da-da-da-da-da. God's like, okay, but you know what I mean? I know if you get that, then this is going to happen. You get that motorcycle, you liable to take your neck off. So I ain't going to give you the motorcycle right now. If you get the house, you're still hanging around with such and such, and he going to have somebody come in there and break in. So until you shake his punk ass, I'm not giving you anything. And these are the agreements that God takes us on. And I'm talking about God. It's not religion. Don't get it twisted. That's not what I'm doing, homie. But I understand how this universe works. I get it. And that's the thing about flexibility, is being okay with something else. Being okay with not right now. Being okay with no. Some things you wish you could have got, man. I remember one time we was just riding around looking for the police with pistols. And if we could have got what we wanted, we'd still be under the jail. And that's the thing, like, you know, you get things, it saves you. God prevents these things from happening. Just takes them out of your life, the problems, right? If you're flexible enough, you'll dodge like a bullet that could have took you out. You know what I'm saying? And your family for 3 or 4 generations. You know what I mean? But being flexible, you were able to wiggle to another opportunity where you saw some opportunity, right? Being okay with going somewhere. A lot of times I don't like being around such and such, or I don't like going to those things. Man, be okay with it. Be flexible. Try it out. Try something new, right? You can bend. Don't break. And the way we bend is by constant constant attention, right? Stretching every day, trying to get more and more flexible. What else can I learn? How else can I be different? Because a lot of times we're rigid in whatever hood shit that we learned our entire lives. Now we're rigid in that sense, but we can't step outside of our zone and go fishing. We can't step outside of our zone and take our wives to a museum and check out some art that we don't know shit about, but we're about to learn today. You know what I'm saying? I've learned about abstract art, the meaning behind it, when they painted the stuff. I'm trying to add seasoning to my ass, homie. And I would think everybody else will be wanting to do the same thing. Add some culture, add some layers to you. And it's possible. This is just be flexible, just be open to it, right? Be open to a suggestion, man. Pray on it and watch it happen for you. You know what I'm saying? But you want to go deep. A lot of times I was just talking to my wife about some of this math that they about to do. So if we ain't flexible enough to where we go and humble ourselves to go learn this stuff, we're going to be embarrassed, right? Trying something different, stepping outside our comfort zone, being the only one in the room. That's okay. Try spending money on something you probably think is bullshit. Try it out. Invest in something you might not know that much about. Not necessarily a financial investment, but in terms of time. Go learn something, go on a hike. The homies is just discovering hikes. They ain't just like but they starting to go together. They're making it a thing. Shout out to James, Marv, all these cats. Making it a thing. Being flexible, man. We getting older. We ain't out here running up and down football fields and basketball courts, man. Knees go. So now we trying different stuff, being cool with that. So I see them every weekend. They hitting the mountains. Like, it's a beautiful thing. We do the same thing in California. Some of the best hikes out here. But hood rigid. Well, homie, I don't hike. Homie, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm just. Man, come on, right? Life is too short and too good to be sitting up there talking about what you don't do and how you're not flexible. Nah, I'm not able to watch anything, read anything, learn anything, so that I can help my neighborhood out, so I can help my homeboys out, so I can help my family out. Period. That's what we here for other people. Don't get it twisted. You know, a lot of times people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, we have to, CJ. We got to set it off. Family things, right? We about to do our game night again. We do family stuff. So we inviting couples over. Come play games. Let's get faded. Let's talk some shit. Play some Jenga, dominoes, Uno. Why can't we do that? And then let's set it up. Let's go on a hike. And then let's go paddleboarding. You know what I'm saying? Let's just try something different. Let's be okay with just doing something different, because we've done the same thing for generation after generation in a lot of our families. Right? Dare to be different in the world of followers. Coldest one I've ever heard. Dare to be a leader in a world of followers. That's a tough one, because now you got to break norms, right? You got to break social norms, group norms, all these things that make us and conform us and keep us under certain limitations, right? It's the group, right? I was talking to my son about that earlier, right? Group wise, you go around a bunch of people who are interested in a certain thing, all of a sudden that becomes the norm. All of a sudden that becomes what you want to do, right? Because everybody around you is doing it. And a lot of times we sit up there and we're like, well, why am I following? Because that's where everybody going. It's easy to go that way. It's different to go flexible and bend yourself a different way in order to still achieve that. You feel what I'm saying? So my whole goal with this is to try to tell you guys, be cool with not getting exactly what you want, because a lot of times getting exactly what you want is not the best thing for you. You think it's the best thing for you because I saw that the homie put me up on this, because I want this now. I want the BMW. He got the vet. I want the BMW. But the whoop-de-whoop. Why? That's his stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. What are you doing? What are your ideas? You know what I'm saying? Is it to buy a bunch of jewelry? Right? Or are you doing that to outdo this next man? Because we got that natural competitive nature in us. As men, we got that natural competitive nature. And if we're not using it in the right path, we can waste a lot of time doing shit that some clown doing. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why you got to be careful and make sure that you're following the right people if you're going to follow. Again, it's hard to be a leader, but the most of the leaders I know are very flexible. They're chill. They don't, man, nothing really phases them. And that's what we have to be. Flexibility is also a mental thing where we can mentally balance ourselves. Nothing really throws us off, right? Nothing really rocks our boat. Nothing really throws us too much because of our ability to stretch, right? Our ability to maneuver, our ability not to, right? They talk about drunk drivers, right? The reason why drunk drivers survive is because they don't get tense. The average person would get tense if they're in a car accident. They don't get tense. They just kind of flow with the car, which is why they usually survive. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that, all points to flexibility. How do you survive in life? Be rich, go with the flow. What does Bruce Lee say? Be water. Be whatever it is that's trying to conquer you. Just wrap around it. Sounds philosophical, sounds like some high level type whatever, but it's a reality. You got to be flexible in life. You have to be. You know what I'm saying? I could see if I was the same way I was back then, man. I don't like such and such. Why? And where are our beliefs coming from? Passed down to us most of the time by our parents, which is passed down to them by some, their parents. And a lot of times there's a lot of misleading, misinformation, all that stuff, all in those things. And we wonder where we get our beliefs from and how early we get them. We get them early in life. As soon as we're born, we start the process. We only fear a few different things. You know what I'm saying? Which is loud noise and I think falling. Everything else is man-made and man-handed to us. So when we think about the lack of flexibility or our value system, this is usually passed down to us, unless we're willing to be leaders. And it usually starts at a young age or starts in our family. I'm not going the route that they're going. I'm going this other route. Even if they're successful, I'm gonna try my own, going out on my own, right? And that's the important part of what we're doing out here. Outside of that, you're gonna snap. It's a lot of pressure out here, and if you're not cool with just going with the breeze and your foundation's not right, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. It's like, man, most of the time we don't get our foundation right. I'm redoing The Dream Giver, and I'm missing. There was parts when I first read The Dream Giver that I didn't hear, and I'm listening to it again, and I'm listening to The Power of the Subconscious Mind again. Every time I get on a long road trip, again. Why? Because I understand the power of my subconscious mind. One of the things I did too, and this is, you got to watch yourself before you go to bed, man. You got to watch what you watch. I watched The Chi and some other like show is more like murder or something like that. Before I went to bed, and I did a test. Watched the first 48 before I went to bed. Woke up mad. Woke up in, kind of in a funk. That's because murder doesn't sit right on your subconscious. So that's not something that you should be feeding yourself before you go to bed. Before you go to bed is the most, your mind is the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Fertile. So because you're about to lay down your last thought. So if it's the news, that's going to shake you. You may wake up with some anxiety. But if you listen to some really good stuff like some Atomic Habits, Power of the Subconscious Mind, Power of Positive Thinking, right? Magic of Thinking Big, David Schwartz, any of these mind things that just sit on there, you're going to see some fantastic thing happen. I'm trying to tell you. You're going to wake up the next day with possibility all over yourself. Crazy. You feel what I'm saying? But it's so important that we plant those seeds. Not of murder, not of deception, not of robbery, the stuff that they hand us on the news, but of good thoughts, of accomplishment, of love, of consideration, of being in the moment, not going too far ahead, not going back on things we can't change. You feel what I'm saying? But being in the actual moment, loving what you got, whatever it is. That's the problem too, man. It's like God will give us more of it if we just show some more appreciation for what we got. I was talking to my brother today. He's like, man, I'm just thankful for being alive and just having, my house and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, man, I feel that, dog. And we don't sit up there and thank God enough. We find BS to complain about. Right? I heard a term where somebody said, man, the problem with people is they walk through the park and look at the dog shit. Look at all this dog shit in it. As opposed to looking at the grass and trees, which clearly outnumber the dog shit. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times in life, we got to look at the possibilities, man. I'm cool, whatever God has for me, man. It's like going to child. Anybody been to jail? You have no idea. You think you know. Thursdays they give us chicken, da 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 da, right? But this is like that bomb menu where you don't know what's coming. Just show up. Show up every day with expectations of greatness, no doubt. But be cool with whatever you get. You get hot dogs today, that's what God was giving out. And he may be doing that so that he can give you the lobster on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? He had to switch it out real quick. Whatever. Be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I had to check somebody earlier about it. Yo, God just making all this stuff happen for you. You're like, man, you finding the gum on your shoe complaint? Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, show some appreciation, homies. That's what time it is. We have to. I'm thankful for all that, man. Business been cracking. We've been selling tours the whole nine. That's really been taking up my time every weekend. God blessing. Trying to tell y'all, hustle don't stop. One of the things I've been cool with, flexibility, man. Left one job, left the radio station, hopped in my Camry, believed in my shit enough, started doing tours in my Camry. I'm telling you, people was in my car. Is this your car, sir? Yes. Really? Mm-hmm. Booking 2 at a time. Tell me about starting small. There ain't nobody on here. 3 cats. Still going. When it's down to 0, still go. I get it. It's all about my intent. That's the difference, homie. A lot of cats do it for the audience. I do it because my intent told me to do it. My intent tells me to show up every week and give you guys my best. My best may not be my best every time, but it's going to be the best I got right now. And that's all you got to give the universe is whatever you have. Give it your best. Put your best foot forward. That's it. And it will fall out the way and start delivering. I promise you that much. You know what I'm saying? And you inspiring people, whether they tell you or not. That's the key right there. Your every move is going to make them move. They may not tell you. They may not say shit even when they get something like you. Doesn't matter. You ain't looking for that. You're not looking for the pat on the back. You're looking for the blessing from God. Right? Because you've been blessed. It's only right to pay it forward. Period. Most of the people don't know, oh man, I got blessed. Shit. Let me see. No. We flipping that forward, partner. Whatever we come up with, man, because we know the source, we know the plug, we know how to plug it in. Plug is not gonna leave us hanging. Never has. Always have enough. I've always had enough. Never been out. One time I didn't have enough and I still had enough. That was when I first got to jail. They took all my money and they were spreading, and I just missed the store. That was when I didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? That was it. And I remember, I don't forget his name.